Have you ever waited to start something because you just weren't passionate enough about it? Maybe you've been waiting for the one idea that makes you jump out of bed every morning, the business you were meant to start, the thing you were born to do. Can I tell you something that might completely change the way you think about passion? I don't think passion comes first. I think progress does. And I think one of the biggest reasons people never build a business is because they're waiting for a feeling that may never come. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Asha, and on this channel, I help women turn what they already know into books, digital products, content, and income, because I believe you've been collecting inventory your entire life and that your experience has more value than you probably realize. For years, I kept asking myself the wrong question. What is my passion? I thought one day it would just hit me. Like I'd wake up and suddenly know exactly what I was supposed to do for the rest of my life. But that never happened. Instead, life happened. I managed art galleries. I danced. I coached. And I started writing books. I learned YouTube. I learned all kinds of online skills. I started businesses, some that worked, some that didn't. And looking back, I realized something. I didn't fall in love with most of those before I started. I fell in love with them because I stayed long enough to get good at them. Take gardening, for instance. When I first started, I was not passionate about soil health. I wasn't excited about succession planting or figuring out why my tomatoes had blossom and rot. Honestly, I just was hoping that I didn't kill everything and maybe I would get to eat something. But then something happened. I learned, I experimented, I made a whole bunch of mistakes. I got better. And the better I got, the more interesting it became. Today, I genuinely enjoy talking about gardening, not because I was born passionate about it, but because competence changed the way I felt. I think that's true of most everything worth doing. Nobody dreams about becoming passionate over bookkeeping or editing videos or writing sales pages or email marketing, but ask someone who's mastered those skills and they'll tell you they actually enjoy them. Now, why is that? Because competence creates confidence, and confidence often creates passion. I think we've been sold the idea that life works like this. First, you find your passion. Then you take action. Then you build a business. But I don't think that's actually how it works. I think it looks more like first, you're curious. And then you take some action. That action leads to competence. Competence builds your confidence. Confidence turns into passion, and passion gives you the momentum to build something meaningful. Think about riding a bike. The first day is not fun. You're nervous. You fall. You wobble. That bike seat seems so far from the ground. You wonder if you're ever going to get to ride on two wheels. But then one day you're riding without thinking about it, and suddenly you love it. What changed? Not the bike. You did. You became competent, and competence changed your relationship with the activity. So let me ask you something. What if you've been waiting for passion when what you really needed was practice? What if the business you're meant to build isn't hiding behind inspiration, but behind repetition? This shift changed everything for me. I stopped chasing the perfect idea and I started building skills. One skill became another skill, became another skill. One project led to another. One business opened another door. Not because I had some master plan, because I didn't. But because every time I took action, I became a little bit more capable. And every time I became more capable, I became excited. Here's what I've learned, okay? You can't steer a parked car, and you can't discover your purpose standing still. You discover your purpose by moving, by trying, by creating, by learning, and by failing. by adjusting. Progress reveals passion. Waiting never does. So here's what I want you to do this week. Don't spend another hour trying to figure out your passion. Instead, choose one thing you've been curious about. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's AI. Maybe it's baking, photography. Maybe it's teaching something you already know. Maybe it's gardening. Let me know. Now commit 5 focused hours to getting better at it. Not forever, just 5 hours. You spend most of that watching TV or scrolling on your phone. Then ask yourself this question again. You might discover you weren't missing passion. You were missing progress. And if you're still trying to figure out what skills you already been building all these years, I'd love to help. Download my free inventory finding workbook using the link in the description or the QR code on the screen. It's designed to help you uncover the experiences, skills, and lessons you've already collected, because those are often the foundation of the business you're looking for. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one thing you've gotten better at over the years that you never expected to enjoy? I read every comment, and I think your answer might encourage someone else who's been trying to start something new.